Okay, so part two. So after, uh, yeah, so after they basically send out this eviction and do all this nonsense, and the way the eviction went with the original petition and the information that I was getting from online, I basically countersued them, right? I countersued the shit out of them. Like, look, and this is what I got them for. Because I had met her children before. Her children, like the director's children, showed up to my door like after things. What is it called? Halloween. I had bought candy and whatnot. They showed up like 5 days after Halloween to introduce themselves. But prior to that, there was again a visual communication that was online, and they were talking from the standpoint of, hey, my husband was sad that, hey, he didn't get to give out any candy or anything like that. As soon as I seen that visual communication, and I'm telling you, like a couple hours after, these children ding dong ditch me first, and then after they ding dong ditch me, boom, they show up again, and then I like talk to them for like 5 minutes. They introduce them to like these kids. It seemed like they were past their level, if that makes any sense. Like, see, it almost seems like I was talking to like young adults, if that makes any freaking sense, right? And like, why I mention that is because, again, the date and time become extremely relevant. Any activity that I do, I can go out and I can buy Burger King or something like that, and then boom, I open up my phone, and then boom, they're like, oh, well, we know you're eating Burger King. I could have a conversation with my grandma. She could send me something, and then boom, I could look at Snapchat. A freaking celebrities out here talking, having something. This is not cognitive resonance. This is not cognitive dissonance. Again, I mentioned my backstory. I mentioned where I come from. I mentioned what I do for a living. I mentioned my intentions to display and to demonstrate that this isn't coming from an idiot. Like, this isn't coming from someone who just can't figure it out, right? I put my licenses down, things that people can't even get, like the standard population can't even get or can't even obtain. Not to boast or anything like that, but just to like mention where it is that I'm coming from when I talk about this information. Again, every facet of my life, any activity, I can pull up my phone, my device, and then whatever app, whatever platform I'm on will reflect what it is that just happened, is what I'm dealing with. And they're accurate, is what I'm saying. Like, it's very accurate, is what I'm saying. So again, when I submit the exhibits and you see the visual communications, and then I explain what that means, and then how that's irrelevant to me, right? Then you understand. And I know you're saying, oh, well, it's just a picture, whatever you're saying. But beyond that, if you look at the scope of America right now, what I'm suggesting is that, and again, I'm freestyling this, but what I'm suggesting is that the implications of the tactics that they're using, like, could you imagine somebody knowing everything about you, knowing like every facet of your life, knowing what you're doing, who you're talking to, and what you look like at your most sacred points, right? You could use that to manipulate somebody for sure. This is what I'm talking about when I say read and write. They can read your information, and then they can write to you to coerce you to do something, to manipulate you to do something. Again, so if you look at this generation in comparison to the previous generations, you can see a lot of people are now saying that they're homosexual. They identify as homosexuals, transsexuals, all kinds of weird stuff. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to get at? And this is why that video of me and this chick that was sent to the internet becomes relevant too, because they were giving me, first of all, to be honest with you, I'm above average, is why I felt confident even having that information and not being worried, to be 100% honest. Like, but could you imagine somebody taking someone who is above average and then trying to like diminish them, and then use influencers, corporations, and executives to diminish them, make them minuscule, and coming from that level, what the outlook of that could be like for a bystander. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be good for that individual, first of all, but it also wouldn't be good for society, because you're making that person a bad option for no reason. That's what I was actually fighting about. I could have just left it alone, but it literally doesn't make any sense. Every experience that I've had, I've been more than enough, if this makes any sense. But again, I stumbled upon this. I opened Pandora's box. And there's so many levels to this right now. I'm just kind of freestyling it and giving you the overview because I basically got in trouble. Not to anything that I did, but because I was reporting this information to a legal outlet and they recognized what I had on them, to be 100% honest with you. So now that they recognize what I have on them, they've been doing all kinds of shady stuff to like prohibit me from essentially conveying or getting this information out to the public is what they've been doing. And I apologize that you guys had to catch me in the middle of it. And I'm like 30% ready, you know what I'm saying, to tell this story to the entire world because I'm writing a book essentially. And it's so weird. It's so weird. But again, I already showed you the original petition and then I had to counter petition. This is what I countered petition for, right? This is the counter petition right here. I'm in county court. We went from JP court, which is the justice of the courts, the lowest level court. We went from the justice of the peace precinct 3. The fact they shouldn't even, that case had zero merit, right? And by the end of December, I had really realized the case had zero merit. To be honest with you, I think it was in January when I realized the case had zero merit. But at the same time, I was dealing with some stuff online, very important stuff online, very important stuff for society online. Edward Snowden has already broken the ice when it comes to like the government monitoring and surveilling members of society out here. So this isn't just like groundbreaking news. Like we've been knowing that people can monitor you. Seriously. This is just anecdotal data. This is just me telling my story at this point in time. So I had to countersue them, right? This is what the countersue was about. Because there's a bunch of weird stuff going on over here. There's a bunch of weird stuff going on over here, right? So this is the countersuit. And there's like 32 charges. There's like 30 something charges on here, to be 100% honest. And I was the first one to start with this harassment and the stalking because the reason why I'm saying it's harassment and stalking is, could you imagine somebody knowing every facet of your life? All your information inside, and again, I have this formally documented. I'm just freestyling it right now. When you see the documents, you'll be like, oh, okay, now I see what this dude, he cataloged everything that they did to him. You know what I'm saying? He cataloged everything that they did to him. But basically, I had learned how to use the legal system because they sued me. Then I countersued them because they were monitoring me and doing all kinds of weird stuff, publicizing and circulating my information, profiting off of me. And then boom, I bet they thought that little $4,000 would be cool. And then I would just be an idiot and just leave without it or without getting any money or do justice for what's been happening to me, for their involvement in what's been happening to me. This isn't just like one person doing this. This has been like, again, when I mentioned me versus the 1%, everybody tried to jump in on this. Everybody tried to jump in on this nonsense. And they've been using different psychological tactics, gaslighting, side-by-side comparison, compound interest scrolling, isolation in the algorithm. I can go on for days about what they've been doing to me here. And why I fit the bill, to be honest. So there's that. I countersue them. It's like December now. So again, they're watching me just essentially live life. They got a thermal camera on the outside. This is in conjunction with the involuntary screen share of my Apple device and then the apps and all. That's just the read aspect. Then they can write to you with the gaslighting, the thumbnails. And this is why they call it alphabet, because I have to write about that one too. But essentially with the alphabet and like the 10 numbers and shapes and colors, you can convey, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can hide a message in pictures by manipulating the different metrics that I just said. And this is why it's called alphabet. When I had realized that, oh my goodness. Is literally why it's called alpha. So YouTube's they've got different ways to like speak to you. And when I say they're talking to me, I'm basically saying we're having a conversation. I'll do an action, I'll do something, they'll subtly let me know that, hey, they've done it, and then I can either say something back, say something out loud, because I tend to do that a lot. I tend to speak out loud. I tend to commentate out loud a lot, frequently. So I could see something online and just say something else about it. So it's essentially like we're having this like conversation. But I sued these guys, long story short, right? And this is where everything starts to make a little bit more sense here. So Estancia Villas LLC versus Allen Way. This is where everything was initiated. It just started with an eviction, and we were in Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 3. This is where the plaintiff, or the original plaintiff, filed the original petition that really didn't have any merit or anything like that at all. Now, by the time I recognized how to use the legal system, I recognized that I could sue people. So the first thing that I did was, again, I submitted all these charges because of their involvement and of what's been going on here. I countersued Estancia Villas. So now this isn't just like them suing me, it's like me suing them right back. And those are criminal charges. This isn't like, I don't have much to lose. I don't have much at stake. It's just an eviction. I'm a licensed electrician. Something that negative happened, I can bounce back, right? The first thing I do, now I'm the plaintiff. I sue the Justice of the Peace Precinct 3 for even handling that case. Because it's not only that they just did that nonsense, like even process that case, but at the end, they also try to change the amount. Because right now, I haven't paid rent in like 6 months, right? And how I was able to accomplish that is because the fact that they didn't sue me for anything in the freaking first place. And then like my statement of inability to pay, everything, like they try to change stuff up, long story short. So that's the actual reason why I sued them. But in addition to that, they never had any merit in the first place. So I ended up suing them. Boom. So I've got 2 lawsuits going on right now. Everything's good. I'm minding my business. We're waiting for this to process. I start submitting my evidence. I start submitting my documents. And keep in mind, I haven't been in jail in like 8 years. Like, I don't do jail. Like, when I say that, I mean, like, I'm basically like when you find a member of society, bro, like, I'm really an upstanding member. So, like, I just go to work. I'm trying to be a proprietor of a business. I'm trying to own land. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of achievements that I had planned for my life before any of this nonsense. And again, I just mentioned this because when you have good intentions for your life and you're doing things the correct way, people tend to hate on you. They call you lames. They hate on you so hard for no reason. So I'm public. My profile's public online. I start dissing a lot of the nonsense in society right now. I start becoming infamous because of it. People hate me. They hate how I'm able to provide light, apparently. You know what I mean? Even in the midst of the eviction. I know, they're like, how do you know all this stuff? There's visual communications. I've interacted with these, the agents, the authorized agents for Estancia Villas. There's a lot going on right now. I haven't even told you like all the information. I'm just trying to go over it so you can get an overview as to what I have going on with my life here. So, Estancia Villas, original petition, boom. They end up winning judgment in court. They end up winning judgment just for solely the right of possession. They end up winning. The judge awards them the right of possession. I appeal it, right? I appeal it. We end up going to county court. This is where everything gets a little complicated. We end up going to county court. I sue these guys in county court. I countersue Estancia Villas. And then, boom, I start to try to build my case against Estancia Villas. People are like, how do you know all this stuff about Estancia Villas? You know what I mean? And how do you know all this information? Well, let me explain the story to you. For one, I'm using a legal outlet, and I sent the same pictures that originated everything, how I prompted all the attention from the celebrities and all this nonsense. I sent the pictures because they were essentially trying to insult my whatever, right? So I send over the pictures. Again, I'm confident. I don't really care. I know I'm good. It's just they're bullying people online. They're using psychological tricks, gaslighting, subliminals, and then again, the results that they're yielding are they're just trying to diminish men. They're getting people to change over and identify as like transsexuals and a bunch of nonsense. And like, That's what I was trying to stand up against, because you're not going to take somebody that's like above average and then try to like make them look like they're not above average. That's what they were trying to do, and then diminish me publicly, and they're trying to use the interest to compound from celebrity. Bro, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I've got documents, I've got visual communications, exhibits, etc. So what I'm trying to do right now at this point in time, in like December, right? And really, December I was able to countersue, and then I got to explain the legal system a little bit now. Before I even started using this whole thing right here, we call it e-file. What we call pro se is the ability to represent yourself in the legal system, and you can do that. So that's what I was doing. I was pro se. I was able to just email. Literally, I was just able to email Travis County Civil. I could just email them, and then I could do subpoenas. I could do motions. I could answer. I could file amendment, anything. I could just do it email, right? And then they changed that January, I think it was like January 3rd, they tried to change that. And I think I had a major part in them making that decision, because I started sending them legitimate information. I started typing documents out. And basically what I was trying to do, right, with this case right here, is explain how I knew all this information right here. Explain how I was trying to make this make sense. Is literally, I was trying to make this right here make sense. And it's I'm trying to put the entire scope of 2023 inside documents now, and I'm sending it over. So the first thing I did was I started segmenting them. And I'm sorry, I'm just freestyling this right now, and I don't have all the pictures and all the different documents set up, because what happens is when you file documents into the case, it gets locked in there. You have to get a discovery. So I would either have to show you this, where I have like motions to recuse the judge, orders, subpoenas, motions, different moves, you know what I mean, regarding all of my cases. So for instance, I could just do this, TCO 12, and then something's gonna pop up like my demand for a jury of 12. I'm making documents, I have to file it with them, right? Statement of reflection, petition for lawsuits. I have to generate all of these documents, you know what I mean? This is me right here, literally. This is me making all these documents. And so they got annoyed. It's really what it seemed like. Not only did they get annoyed, but I'm accurate. So I'm accurate. I learned how to use the system. I'm doing a good job using the system. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I could pull up anything. I've got different types of, all kinds of stuff, man. Like, so I really ended up doing it and learning how to use their system here. But what I'm trying to get at is like original petition. Yeah. Like you really learn, or excuse me. Oops. Yeah, I really learned how to use this. Like, look how many documents that I have. You know what I mean? That I've been sending these guys. Motions of continuance, all kinds of stuff. Like, literally, I had to, like, make all these documents, send it. It really seemed like it was an air of, like, you're a hater. An air of hate. You know what I mean? And so now this is where everything's going to make sense with this. So this is the e-file system. By December last year in 2023, everything dawned on me. I'm filing the thesis. I figured out what's been going on around here, who's been involved, all kinds of stuff. I'm writing all my documents. I'm sending it to court. I'm using the legal outlet because I'm basically trying to sue somebody. Because think about it for a second. Like, I'm explaining this about Snapchat. It goes beyond Snapchat. Alphabet's involved. It goes beyond Alphabet. iPhone's involved. I'm trying to figure out how do I take this out on somebody? How do I not take it out on somebody, but how do I didn't even know how to do anything. I didn't know I could even sue anybody. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, well, I'll use the court of public opinion or something, and then somebody will take care of it. You know what I mean? But it wasn't until I had gotten sued, right? And then after I had gotten sued, the way I had gotten sued, the people that were involved, the visual communications online, the accuracy, and how I was able to figure out what I figured out, right? Countersue these guys, petition, sue these guys. They're getting scared now. You know what I mean? What they do. And I'm telling you, like January 5th. I'll start here. January 3rd. because I'm in the middle of building my case against Estante Villas. I'm sending all my information. I'm sending my exhibits and everything like that. So I sent over what originated everything because it was relative to the case. It was extremely, that's actually what started everything. And as a man, when somebody insults that and then they're doing it in sly ways, sneak diss and all kinds of weird stuff, and then they're trying to make you look weak as a man, side-by-side comparisons, all kinds of stuff, that is very relevant information. It's very relevant information. Like, I'm an electrician. I'm not afraid of electricity. Police officers are probably not afraid of confrontation. They're probably not afraid of homicides and dead bodies and whatnot. Like, when you're submitting this to the courts, the clerks should not be afraid to see information. I had zero trouble with any of the clerks, literally. And then basically what happened is I sent this information over on the 3rd. On the 3rd of January in 2024. I sent it over as an exhibit. I'm building my case. The case isn't even over yet. It's an open case. We're still filing the case. I didn't even get the opportunity to explain myself. In fact, I did get the opportunity. I explained myself. I said, hey, I sent this over. I segmented and broke down everything and said, hey, this is my... In fact, look at this. Yes, look at this. I don't know. I'll probably be able to find it. Let me see. Response test. Estancia exclusive. Response. Motion to the court. Reflection. Appearance. Small claims. Yeah, that's before I started doing this. What's this? Okay, so that's the petition there. Nah, I need to find this so you can see what I'm talking about. Estancia exclusive. Yeah, I literally had to explain this nonsense. And I had to explain what it is that I'm talking about. Because yeah, that's not even what I was trying to send over, but there's basically, is this it? No. Statement of reflection. Documents prior. I don't think this is it. Yeah, the documents prior to prove everything. Like, they're basically gonna embarrass themselves in court. Like how much information I have on them. Oh, you know what? Let me try this one because I had a big compact document on there with everything in there. Motion of continuance. I think I have to break it down. It's actually kind of annoying right now. There we go. So this is actually what I was looking for. I apologize about that. So I had to break it down for him. I had sent this over, the introduction, the backstory, scope of 2023, the entities, parties, personnel involved, gaslighting / subliminal psychological tactics, arsenal and threats, events, the exhibits, the violations, the implications, extensive villas, agents, UDR, the government, revenue owed, and my closing argument. I had sent this over, and then I had also sent over like other information to like the statement of reflection, everything, right? And basically, I got too much going on right now. These guys right here. This is how I get down here. Travis County Civil Division. So they have two wings. It's the Travis County Civil Division. I mean, they've got the criminal division too, but typically what happens is they've got the civil division, which all of your documents, they're just the record holder. Then you have the courts who actually file answers, or the judge makes answers or orders or whatever the hell, and you actually have court. So there's two wings to that judicial system right there. Like there's one where you submit your documents and they hold your records, and then there's another wing where it's the court and you actually have court, and then the jury, and then the trial, and then the lawyers, and then you talk about the documents, right? So they had basically used the Travis County Civil Division. And when I had sent over, because I'm building a case for Estancia Villas LLC, like I'm literally actively in court, they basically used the information that I had sent over marked as exhibit as a harassment charge. Now keep in mind, I was the first person to send over the harassment charge because I'm literally actively being harassed online in the context of, and coerced and manipulated in the context of, I don't have any more privacy. Like, they know what's going on my phone. They have all this information on my phone. They keep asking me to be gay every 10 seconds. They keep asking me to come to their side to represent them every 10 seconds and to be a negative person to society, essentially. So I put that down as stalking because you shouldn't be stalking somebody like that. Again, and then all this kind of weird stuff that they have going on over here. So I put that down. What they did, right? Literally after I'm building my case, I'm real time in court with these guys right here. What these guys did down here, Travis County Civil Division, was they actually went to JP, and I just found this out like 10 minutes ago. These guys right here, the Travis County Civil Division, because now they're mad that I'm actively suing Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 3. And there's 4 levels of the court. There's the Justice of the Peace Court, which is the bottom. Then there's the county court. Then there's the district court or federal court. And then there's the Supreme Court at the top. Basically, when they had got their ruling and they had won their ruling, even though they didn't have any merit or anything like that, I appealed it, which took it to the next level to county court. And when we're in county court right now, which is Travis County Civil Division, after me going back and forth with them on email and pro se and me just like actually winning and sending over subpoenas and making stuff happen, they're like, oh, well, we found something that we can get this dude to be quiet on or something like that. Literally. So then they sent over an affidavit, right? It's an affidavit. They send over an affidavit and then they send it to the Travis County Sheriff's Office, right? And basically they executed a warrant for me in 2 days. In 2 days, they executed a warrant. So I'm gonna explain everything here. Again, I'm in court for this simply for an eviction, but I appeal the eviction because they didn't have any merit. We get up, then I countersue them, and after I countersue them, I'm ready to prove my case. Like I'm literally ready to, I'm not about to lose. I'm ready to prove my case. Again, my credibility, what I do for a living, how observant I am, how I can convey what I've seen, how I can segment what I've seen to just anybody and convince them. That's what I'm ready to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm going and I'm working 10 hours and then doing complicated stuff, then coming back, not even really sleeping, going through it, barely having enough money, doing all this nonsense, and then being a lawyer at the end of the night, right? I work in a whole week. My job is like literally paying me like I think it was 130, 160,000. It's sales, but it's also electrical troubleshooting and whatever. So I have like essentially like $130,000, $160,000 job, right? And I had mentioned how I had fallen on bad times. Everything was negative. I had lost everything. Coming back up, $160,000 job, minding my own business, in court, fighting in appeal. Everything is going good. Then, boop, they're mad now. Travis County Civil Division, I just recognized this. They had found or filed a harassment charge with the JP5, not 3, right? Which is the criminal JP5. And then the judge basically approved it, and then boom, the Travis County Civil Division. So what I'm trying to prove by this is they're all connected. They're all connected here. They're all connected. All of them are connected here. It's not like it's just like, oh, it's a separate case or something like that. It's no, like they're all connected. For one, I'm already about to argue this one in court because there's no reason for you to be a civil clerk and then now you're offended from the content that you're seeing. Again, I'm just going to mention as an electrician, you shouldn't be afraid of electricity. And then as a police detective, you shouldn't be afraid of whatever. As soon as they drafted this as an offense, boom, they sent it to JP5, which I'm about to sue them too. They sent it to JP5. JP5 sends something to Travis County Sheriff's Office, and then basically the judge in JP5 looked at it and just approved it. Like he approved that warrant. What happened was the SWAT team, not even a constable, and this is a Class B misdemeanor for harassment. This was just one of the charges I had countersued them for, but now they're trying to get me for harassment. Can you imagine that? While I'm using a legal outlet to pursue a case, and I'm building a case, and I'm actually being good at it. I'm doing a good job at it. I'm building a case. And then look what they do. They can't compete. They can't debate. So what do? They make the environment toxic. Travis County Civil Division draft something, boom. I just found out which judge it was too. It was a judge in Travis County, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 5, not 3. 3 is just like civil stuff, right? Precinct 5 is like criminal. So I was suing Precinct 3 for even handling the case because they didn't have any merit in the freaking first place. So now they're about to get embarrassed publicly because I'm suing them for their nonsense and I'm asking for a jury trial and all this stuff, right? And then boom, what do they try to do? They file something with the Travis County Civil Division, send this to Precinct 5. Precinct 5 approves it. Then now the Travis County Sheriff is looking for me. I got arrested by the Travis County Sheriff in conjunction with the SWAT team. I get inside the SWAT team and there's like a caution cone with like a baseball helmet on. This again with the double speak because they know I'm onto their nonsense. And so now I'm trying to get a discovery and all kinds of stuff. Long story short, I get inside jail. I don't even get the opportunity to speak. I don't even get the opportunity to say shit, like nothing. Like the judge is, oh, and he just, well, you're doing this. And then what do? Not only do they file a harassment charge, right? Travis County Civil Division. They filed me a harassment charge for sending over information and using a legal outlet as an exhibit because I'm trying to show them how I know what I know and what the doublespeak means and convey a bunch of stuff. I'm basically building my case and I'm real time winning. I'm not paying any, and they're just mad, you know what I'm saying? Because I figured out how to use the legal system here. So again, they try to make the environment toxic. They file this, the warrant is executed. I sent this information on the 3rd of January, 2024. Friday, January 5th, 2024, I get off of work. I'm coming home. And I had already called the police and told them, hey, I need you guys to come do a welfare check because there's a bunch of weird stuff going on over here. They don't do the welfare check. The next day or the next 2 days, boom. I'm coming home from work after working 60 hours in that week. And then at night doing lawyer stuff, right? And again, I'm just building character because I don't do anything to anybody. I just mind my own business. And then when I see nonsense that's immoral, I speak on it, apparently. Apparently there's something wrong with that. You know what I mean? I'm the one out here looking out for everyone else's best interests, sacrificing, doing all kinds of stuff just to have a better image put out there, right? Just to have a better image put out there, and then look, just to have society function better. And then look at the individual that you guys decide to like bully. Not only am I getting bullied essentially from like these influencers and not only am I getting bullied from like these influencers, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying bullied in the context of like I'm in the corner crying or anything. I'm just saying like I'm getting a bunch of attention. You know what I'm saying? Like a bunch of attention. Like I'm not upset because I probably hurt them worse than they hurt me. Like nobody cares. But what I'm suggesting is that like what I'm suggesting is that Like, I'm already dealing with stuff online. I'm handling it the appropriate way. I'm in court. That's the legal outlet. If you're not going to go to a legal outlet, where the hell else are you going to go to explain this information? I get in trouble for sending the information, not because I'm actually in trouble. They try to say, oh, it was repeated attempts, but it was all done in like one time. And then they basically, what they tried to do was they said, hey, you sent over to this clerk, and then boom, the clerk was offended. That's harassment. First of all, we're all arguing. Nobody believes that, right? And then what they actually try to do, and this is the problem. This is the problem right now, is why I had to sue these guys, the Travis County Civil Division. I sued them. I'm the plaintiff on that. You can see all this information right here from malpractice. I had to sue them. I also had to sue the Travis County Sheriff Division, or excuse me, Sheriff's Office for malpractice. I had to sue them again. This is something else that I had to sue them for, which is not important to this. I also had to sue Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 3 for even handling that case in the first place. And then I'm countersuing Estancia Villas and the authorized agents because of the thermal camera and then their involvement. And then on top of that too, like their children, and there's basically three representatives, and two of them have, it's a whole thing. I'm trying to prove the case though, but now I have to get off course because in the middle of me proving this case, they try to stop me. Like, I'm suing for $10 million on this case. It's $250K on this case, $250K on this case, $250K on this case. And then I'm also trying to file criminal charges against them. I'm suing the judge, not suing the judge, but I'm submitting like a report for them to investigate the judge to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. Sylvia Holmes for JP3. And then I'm also, I'm suing so many people. There's so much going on right now too. But basically, I'm trying to prove this case. I get in trouble in the middle of it from these guys. They send this information to JP5, which I have yet to sue. So they're not on this page just yet. JP5, that's the criminal for the lowest level, right? JP5, that judge approves it, which he needs to be reported to the State Commission on Judicial Conduct for this nonsense. And then boom, these guys right here have like an affidavit, and then they execute a warrant. So that's why I had to explain this right now instead of explaining it at the end, because I got in trouble and now everyone's wondering what the heck's been going on. You know what I mean? I literally had to explain it in the middle of the story. So I go to jail on the 3rd. I come out on like the 7th. Boom, back to here. Estancia Villas, they already hired a lawyer. Could you imagine doing this nonsense and hiring a lawyer for an eviction? They hired a lawyer for an eviction, right? And they basically said everything opposite of what the original petition stated, which was on record. They said everything opposite. They say, hey, this dude, we're suing for unpaid rent. We're suing for lawyer fees. We're suing for, this dude didn't pay rent, and he didn't do this, and he didn't do that, and he didn't even do this, even in regards to that, and he's appealing and this and that. And long story short, everything was the exact opposite of the, but what they were trying to accomplish by that, right, was if I would have stayed inside jail for this nonsense and I had to come out like a whatever and then prove it later, what would have actually happened would have been I would have lost this case solely because I couldn't answer to anything. Not even because of the stuff that they're saying is accurate. So they hired like a fancy lawyer from like California, which I guess lives in Austin now or something like that. They hired like the best lawyer. And then the best lawyer couldn't come up with anything. All they did was try to say exact opposite of what the original petition said, but then try to put like different lawyer codes and whatnot in there. So my ability to interpret information is actually pretty good. And that's how I know that the lawyer doesn't even have anything. But what I did was I looked at the information, replicated the exact information, but then again, put my own spin on it too. So then my stuff looked like I was a professional lawyer. I'm telling you right now, this is not complicated. Essentially what she was doing was she was counting the seconds, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, stating the facts instead of summarizing the minute. You know what I mean? And then putting like legalese in there and different codes. And then I would just basically look at that information, look at the codes, and then put my own codes in there, and then do my research and put my own codes in there, and then count the seconds too instead of summarizing the minute. Lawyers aren't special, to be honest with you, especially eviction lawyers, because typically tenants tend to be in the wrong, 100% honest. But not in this case. To be honest, in this one, I'm more than likely going to be exonerated, and then they're probably going to end up going to jail. It's just like they're trying to get me to go to jail and lose my like spot before that even happens, which is the problem with the system. So, Estancia, after they do all this, they take me to jail. I go to jail on the 5th. False charges, no merit, no cause, no nothing. They don't even tell me who it is. This is actually the problem. Travis County Civil Division, they didn't even, the Sheriff's Office failed to do this. The Civil Division failed to do this. JP5 failed to do it, right? Nobody, there's no individual on the order of constraint, on the restraining order for me to stay away from. And this is where the problem is. So I'm explaining this to them. I send over the pictures of me and the girl and why everything started and whatever. They take it out of context, only show what they want to be shown so they can have the result that they want. And then boom, try to shut me up. I go to jail. I come outside. As soon as I come outside, they didn't expect me to come outside jail, because again, they've been monitoring me and all this nonsense. They know my phone calls, they know my network and all this. They didn't expect me to come outside. I come outside at like 1-7 and I immediately start looking at my legal stuff. Boom. I get outside, and then the lawyer for this lady texts me some information at like 12 or something at night. Like, oh shit. I look at the information. It's, again, the exact opposite of what the original petition says. And they're basically now trying to say, oh, well, we're trying to sue him for rent. Now we want to sue him for unpaid lawyer fees. Now we want to sue, but it's the complete opposite of the original petition. I'm in the clear as far as that original petition basically says, like, and then on top of that too, I'm actively countersuing them for this. They don't want that to get to light. You know what I mean? They don't want that to escalate. I've got motions to escalate. I've got subpoenas. I've got orders. I got a subpoena in there. 4 times the Travis County Constable Precinct 5 went over to the clubhouse, which is a public facility, and they couldn't execute a freaking subpoena and give this production subpoena to like one of their authorized agents so that they can just, hey, give me the clubhouse. Simple stuff that I asked for, and then boom, the 5th time they get it, and then now their lawyer wants to object to it. So then now I got to get the judge. It's a whole thing. It's a whole back and forth. I got to get a discovery so you can see exactly what's been going on, or you'll be able to see in court when we actually get the chance to litigate. But at this point in time, basically the lawyer said a bunch of nonsense that didn't even make any sense. I'm so confident to go to court. Again, I don't even have much to lose as an eviction. I'm about to buy a house. None of this, like, I don't have much to lose. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm charging them for, and I'm serious about it, is because this is what I've been dealing with online, and they're involved in it. Their involvement in it, publicizing and circulating my information, or being in conjunction to it, because I'm public enemy number 1, apparently. The same person who's trying to build a business, same person who's going to work every day, same person who's building his credit score, same person who's out here looking for his partner. For some reason, that kind of light, when they see it, it irks them. I don't know what kind of feeling it invokes, but the level at which we are right now. I'm sorry, it's Saturday. I'm just kind of freestyling. But like where we are right now is just so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous where we're like, again, I don't have much to stay here. It's an eviction for me. What I'm charging them for, and I'm trying to get to district and federal court, and they're trying to like stop me from doing it. All kinds of weird means. Like there's blatant disregard for my life. So Friday I had gotten off of work like 60 hours and being a lawyer just to get arrested by the SWAT team and the sheriff. They didn't think I was going to get out. They thought I was going to sit inside jail. I asked for a court-appointed lawyer. I don't even get one for like 2-3 weeks. So basically what I'm saying by that is like, not only did I not get a lawyer, and if I didn't bail out of jail, but I would have, solely based off the fact that I couldn't answer, and even though it wasn't correct, they would have went inside there and just said whatever. As soon as I get outside, like the information that she presented cannot hold water. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I get outside, the information that, and I'm saying this is a bona fide, like indentured lawyer that's been around for decades. You know what I mean? Trying to come up and lie. That's why I have to report her to the Texas Bar Association for misconduct. Literally, I have to like report so many people. And this is what happens in the system. They just try to like take advantage of people. And then like, could you imagine if I was on the opposite end of this? And I came on and tried to say, hey, yeah, the system, while not having anything and not being able to prove anything. Like, they just would have looked at you as like another black person. You know what I mean? 100%, they would have just looked at you like, hey, this is just another black person complaining about the system. But I'm in like real time and I can explain it to you. I got a jury. I'm trying to line everything up. They cannot argue with me. All of my stuff is documented, is well documented, is formally documented, and they're hating on it. I'm sorry, I'm just freestyling right now. So they say all this nonsense. Boom. They can't even like submit the information to have like a court date and then show that, hey, they gave me a reasonable time for the court date. Not only did she draft a bunch of stuff and then she texted me this information at like 9 o'clock, like, oh, damn it, he's out of jail. Like, let me, quickly like send this information over and make it look like, hey, I sent you this information. Like, no, you did not. They don't have any record of it. Then they try to set trial. Not even just a hearing, but trial, a whole trial to like just get the case swept under the rug and finished with. And that's it. She was going to go in there, lie, say a bunch of lies and a bunch of weird stuff. And I wouldn't have been able to argue. I wouldn't have been there or able to argue. So essentially they just would have won by default is what the purpose of these guys sending this information over to JP5, which I just realized that they sent over, and I got to sue JP5 too for even approving that warrant because it's nonsense. There's no merit. Again, like these guys with their zero merit, like the justice of the peace precinct, they're going to be fucked up by the time I'm done with them. I'm just saying. And so yeah, they sent that over. And then, so check this out. There is nobody on this. I have a lawyer too. So I'm not just pro se. I'm pro se on all of these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm in charge. I'm pro se. I'm handling all of my cases, right? The one that I'm talking about that they charged me with, it's criminal, so it's not even on here. It's on a different deal. So I have a lawyer for that one defending me. And he's even looking at it like, bruh, there is no individual named in the Travis County Civil Division. Now, I mentioned that because what they tried to do by that alone was, if I would have walked into the courts for a court date right here, or I would have went into the courts to file anything, to even talk to anybody, because at a certain point, like they stopped, they tried to be quiet. Like I would send over motions, which would have required an answer from the judge. I've even had the judges on different things in here, like call me back on the phone, right? I've had judges call me over the phone like it's nothing. I've been able to email these guys, the Travis County Civil Division, as the record holder, and they've been able to like file my subpoenas and do everything, no problem. They switch everything over to the e-file system, which is this, and make pro se litigants or people representing themselves have to basically learn how to be lawyers and file and use this system and all this nonsense. I learned how to use the system very quickly, right? I'm sending over like a bunch of information, like I am ready to rock. Like, you know, I'm not out here for no games. Like, look, all of these motions, these like things, I'm suing people. I'm like, look, I'm dismissing judges, like all kinds of stuff, right? I'm reporting them to the bar, like, yeah, you know what I mean? And then boom, they get mad. They try to stop me by like intervening with some nonsense. It's not going to hold water in court just so that I can lose. Just literally, this is what they try to do, so that I could lose my spot in Travis County, and then basically not even have like the ability to call the police in Travis County because I don't live here. All kinds of weird shit. You know what I mean? And like basically it didn't work. Like I got out of jail. And then, boom, I was able to stop whatever nonsense this lady that was representing Estancia Villas was doing. And we're still actively in court now. I had to basically transfer all of my cases from Travis County. And I'm still in the middle of the transfer to somewhere else because they're trying to have home court advantage is what I'm realizing. You know what I mean? And then, again, the tactic that they already tried some weird stuff the first time. But then now they tried another tactic here, the Travis County Civil Division. Because on that, it's not even like they just put a charge on me. They also put a order of constraint or a restraining order, but they made it vague, generic, very general, so that they could, on the cool or very sly, like if I was to walk in to handle any of these other cases, if I had court date or anything, I just wanted to go inside the court for any reason, they could literally just arrest me like, hey, you're violating a restraining order. That is a civil rights violation for sure. That's oppression for sure. It's abusing the official capacity. And this is what I'm suing them about, really. This is literally what I'm suing them about, because you cannot do that. It's literally a legal outlet. You're not going to prohibit me from walking in or having fear or being intimidated from walking into a legal outlet, for one, right? And then for two, the reason why I'm actually suing is because you're not going to be a clerk and you're going to try and be offended. You know what I'm saying? For whatever. Like, I don't know. The pictures aren't even like crazy. It's literally just like me and a chick. And like, yeah. But I didn't send it to like, like, I didn't send it to like a random person. I sent it to a legal outlet for them to examine this. This is a legal outlet here, right? And then again, the Travis County Civil Division, just recently, this lady sends me the judge's information, because I transferred my case. First, I had the actual judge for this one, because like, I'm really good at pissing people off, apparently. Like, the way I speak, apparently, you should see the way my documents hit. Like, when I sit down and write, stuff moves. Like, I'm just saying. So I had sent one. It was a statement of reflection 3, and then something else. And basically, I got the judge to say something. And then the judge denied my demand for a jury trial. Again, they try to basically limit you so that, that's literally what it is, too. Like, they want to have the case like spoken directly to the judge, but all the parties speak directly to the judge, and then he can make a decree or whatever. What I'm trying to do is eliminate the judge and then have 12 people decide, like the jury. I'm basically using our rights here. A demand, because that's going to take power away from the judge, especially considering what's been going on around here. You know what I'm saying? Especially considering. So he tried to deny my demand for my demand. He tried to deny my demand for jury of 12, even though, and basically his reason was I didn't do it timely, but I have time and date stamped of everything. You have to request it within like 30 days or something like that. And I had it like since the very beginning when I countersued them, I had it. And this is why his dumbass is recused right now. No offense. I'm just saying, he got recused and then now he's under investigation. So again, they've been trying to do a bunch of weird stuff to like silence me and make me quiet, but in reality, it's like I figured out how to use the system. Everything they've asked of me, I've been able to do, and I'm trying to prove my case, and then boom, they try to find something in the middle of the case and then send it over. So now I have like 3-4 other cases, because every action they take is illegal, and now I got to sue them for it. So they don't think they can just get away with it. So this is how they bully people. I'm not gonna allow it. It's like, this is the last thing I do, is what I'm gonna do to them. So now I have to put another lawsuit for the Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 5, because that was the judge that these guys sent their complaint to, and he processed it and made it a whole thing, a whole affidavit, which got these guys involved, plus the sheriffs. It wasn't even, excuse me, not the sheriff, the SWAT team. It wasn't even just the sheriff. Like, that speaks volumes to the RICO, to the racketeering and, what is it? Influence and corrupt organizations. Like, they're all in cahoots here. They're all piggybacking off each other. They all know each other. They're like, hey, there's this dude and he's doing this, and they just pass it up, like, back and forth. All their numbers are the same. You know what I'm saying? They're all in the same system here. They're just trying to stop people for no freaking reason, because they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed of the nonsense that they've been doing here. And it's like, well, I don't know. But anyways, long story short, they initiated a claim with JP5, and I also have to sue the Travis County courts too. So now I'm suing the civil division, which is the record holder, and I also have to sue the actual courts. I've also reported that judge for that court to the state commission on judicial conduct. So there's so much going on. I haven't even really explained why this lawsuit is valid, why my countersuit is valid. I have to build that. That's going to probably take a couple of months. I've got to put visual communications into a video. I've got to edit the video so I can show you what it is. This is 2024. A lot of this is new, and I'm basically trying to say that, hey, we need to start restricting a lot of stuff that's been going on online. We need to hold our horses. We need to review this. It's having this impact on us, on our lives, and basically they're tangible. Their involvement in this, like, they're tangible. This is like $1 billion corporation, and they bought it as soon as like I move in here because I'm infamous. It's not just me, but I'm just saying, I've been fighting against this like a long time here, and Imagine pissing off like the 1% for a second. I never was intimidated by the fight, but I didn't think people were like ethically and morally bankrupt like this, to the point where like I'm just on display 24/7. Everyone I'm involved with, like I can get information from people that are like in different locations. I don't even need to be next to them. I can start figuring out stuff about their lives with this suggestive AI and all kinds of other nonsense. And I'm trying to explain this in court before I can even get to the class action lawsuit. There's like so much going on, and then boop, let's stop this guy because he's spilling the beans. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop this guy. And that's what it was. So that's why I went to jail. It's basically like a retaliation from like, because now I'm suing the Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 3, which is like civil matters, for them even doing this nonsense or even handling this case. They basically try to like get rid of me with the Precinct 5, which is a lower level court than I actually am in. I'm in the county court, but they actually use that, because they're all connected. They use the county court clerk boop, to send the information to JP5. JP5 processed this. Travis County Sheriff involved, or Sheriff's Office got involved. Then I got in trouble. Boom, now I'm like dealing with the state of Texas right now. The state of Texas is actually this one right here. So I have 6 cases. I have a whole 6 cases. I showed you 5 of them right now. I've got 6 cases, including the one versus the state of Texas. All the other ones, I don't even really need to worry about. There's not really much to lose. Even the state of Texas one isn't much to lose. If anything, I think these guys are going to try to... They can't settle at this point. You know what I mean? I don't even want them to settle. Here's what I got going on here. Damn, sometimes it takes forever. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've just been freestyling this whole thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to settle, right? I don't want to settle. I've sued these guys. I countersued them for $10 million. And I really want more. I think we're going to escalate it. We'll see when we get to district court. I don't want to settle. I don't want them to just be like, you know what? I mean, maybe I might settle on this one right here. We'll see. We'll really see. Like, they could give me the money before we go to court, before I expose them. That's going to be very embarrassing for them, I'm just saying. But this one, I'm not going to settle. I don't want to settle on this one right here. This is the one. I don't want to settle on this one. Because if you settle on it and they close the case... I'm sorry. I think I might have said that wrong. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So, the eviction... They don't have the grounds for the eviction, because could you imagine that? Like, if your rent is paid, you can literally imagine that. Like, from November 1st, like, imagine that you walk, your rent's paid, you haven't violated any leases. You know what I'm saying? They're not suing for any unpaid rent, and then they're also not suing for any attorney fees. How the you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you suing that individual for? Is the first thing the judge should ask, or the court should ask. Instead, they just processed it. You know what I'm saying? And then not only did they just process it, but the judge actively, even after the letter that I had sent them to saying, like, hey, I intended to pay and doing all this, and showed them the evidence of me talking back and forth with them and all this stuff, they still try to evict me for right of possession. That's what I'm trying to sue them for. So at this point in time, in the county court level, and I'm trying to get this to be in front of a jury, because I just feel like the odds will be better. Like, you're not gonna... You know what I mean? But I don't want the case to be dismissed, because at this point in time, I could motion to dismiss the case, because they don't even have the grounds to evict me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could really motion, but I don't want it to get dismissed. That's why I countersued them. So now I am holding some power. It's just that this nonsense happened. And this is how they manipulate people, man. Seriously. I'm so glad I just found out that it was JP3 that they reported that to, and I found out the judge that they reported that to. So he's really going to get it from the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. that judge specifically. Then I also had to get the judge for this case too. For just so I don't understand. It's so I'm so disgusted, to be honest. I'm so disgusted. I am so disgusted with this. Like, it's not even like, it's cool learning to use the system, learning to sue people, but it's ridiculous knowing that there's people that aren't transparent, for one, and that have been placed in a position of power just to do this kind of nonsense. Seriously. Like, I'm not even concerned about this. Like, there's a lot of money coming my way here. And it's just a matter of time, man, to be honest. But I basically have to go through all this nonsense. I got to be on my P's and Q's. I got to watch stuff. Their entire objective is to try to get me to lose this spot for no reason, so that it'd be harder for me to litigate in court when I don't have a place to live. So I had to transfer my cases. I had to build cases. I had to do a bunch of, and I'm telling you, like, again, I'm just freestyling, but you could literally just pull up any one of these. You know what I mean? You could literally just pull up any one of these and you'll be able to see, hey, like, this dude is on it. Look at that. Look at the job that they made me lose just now. My benefits and everything, man. Look at that. And that's what I'm suing them for. So, like I said, I had gotten off of work. I'm about to come back home. It's a Friday. I'm about to enjoy my weekend, do some more work on the weekend, and then boom, I get arrested for some nonsense that doesn't even make any sense. And then the speed at which you did that too. And then again, so then I'm trying to get them off the same information, like, they're illegal. If you can just get a one-sided story and then someone can end up in jail. So I did the same thing, and then boom, oh, it's gonna take like 2-3 weeks to process. It takes like 2-3 weeks to process to even get you a lawyer. You know what I mean? And I don't even care for the lawyer though. A lawyer is only relevant if you're in jail. When you're outside of jail, I'm wondering, I'm like, hey, why the hell do I still not have a lawyer? I can't even talk to the prosecutor in that case because I'm a defendant, and I'm still at the point right now. Is like, do I motion to withdraw counsel and then state myself as pro se just so I can get access to all of the information? And you know what I mean? I'm really thinking I do that because that's a court-appointed lawyer and he could be in on it too. You know what I mean? And just to delay my time and then try to like come up with different ideas to put me in jail for no reason when I'm just like minding my own business. And this all started because I'm using the legal outlet. Like, I figured out how to use the legal outlet and counter-sue somebody, and I'm building my case, segmenting my case, building my case, literally segmenting my case. Like, this is how I intend to argue. They cut off the information and try to make it seem like I did something wrong, when in reality, I'm over here explaining myself. Like, I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? Look at how they're speaking to me. Look at how they're reading my information. I'm not an idiot out here. I'm really not. To be honest, that's why I was like, let's submit our IQs in, since you guys you feel that, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'd be able to sue somebody. There's no way I'd be able to figure out all this information. This is a completely different department from what I do on a regular basis. And then if you even take what I do on a regular basis, 33% of people like pass this are licensed. 33% of people who even take this test are licensed. And then if you look at the percentile of people that even make like $100,000 as an electrician, like, you were like top 10, and then being black in Austin, I am just saying, like, I am very rare, and I'm not suggesting that to just be like, oh, I'm cool. I'm saying that to be like, look, I was exclusive enough to talk with celebrities and corporation executives and department executives and government officials and whatnot. So much so, like, billionaires are buying out my apartment complex because there's something about me, apparently. And that's what I mean by the coercion and the manipulation. They've been trying to get me to come to that side and spew a bunch of nonsense to society from a different position, though, being in power, like in their network or whatever the hell. And I'm not with it. So they've been sending, like, imagine you piss a billionaire off or something like that, and they've been doing all kinds of weird stuff to me. It's really what's been happening. And I've got it all documented. I'm in court right now. This is the correct way to do this, instead of me retaliating. And I'm telling you right now, bro, like, they're manipulating people to the point where they're out there doing like school shootings and stuff like that. Like, this dude was convinced he was a cat. And then if you look, or a girl or whatever the hell, if you look at some of the stuff that I'm talking about over here, like I'm telling you, like they've been on this. Like they've been on this. Like this is not like I just was able to identify it, but these kind of psychological tactics have been out for a minute. Like like you're out here training their AI and training all kinds of like stuff and like being an experiment for them, and like it's so weird. No one's speaking about it. I'm just out here like, hey, I'm gonna speak about it, and now people are mad about it. The government's mad about it, but again, like look at the job that I just lost. Like you got to be a certain person to qualify for something like that. Not even just that. Look at my resume. So I've been doing this for a little bit. That wireman's was hard to get to. That wireman's I was able to start, like that's where I figured everything out. I was like, I'm gonna make $100,000, you know. But I've always had drive, and things have been very good for me, to be honest. Like I'm not an idiot. I am not an idiot out here, to be 100% honest with you. Like I'm really not. And I'm just suggesting that to let you know, like I'm over here building documents and whatnot, just to let you know that, hey, like I'm very observant. I see what you motherfuckers are doing, and I'm not gonna let it slide. Is really where I'm at with you. So, plus now I gotta let my family know too. Like my family, like they're like, what is going on with this kid? It's like a whole book that I'm writing, and you happen to catch me in the middle of it while I'm writing it. And then imagine like you trying to explain this story 100 times, and how the length of the story, and you're freestyling the story. So again, I apologize. When I get some time and everything's settled in my life, then like things will go good. But this is what's happening with me right now. I've got like 6 lawsuits. I have to add like, I have to sue the jail because there was some civil rights violations in there too. I've got to sue the holding cell, and I also got to sue the court at Travis County Court 1, and then now I got to sue Justice of the Peace Court, Travis County Justice of the Peace Precinct 5. So that's 4 more suits that I got put on there. So all in all, I'm gonna have 10 suits. I'm asking for like $10 million on this one. I may settle. I'm asking for like, I think it was like 250K on this one. I may settle. I'm asking for like, I think it was like 15 or 20K on this one. I may settle. I'm asking for 250K on this one. I may settle. I'm asking for 250K on this one. I may settle. I may go to court still for these two because I feel like it's a very easy win. Very easy, these two right here. Very easy. So much so because there's so much evidence I have on them. Like it's embarrassing all the stuff that they're doing right. I'm just saying. And then the other two, the 2 jails that I had to like go through, I was really only in there for the span of like a few days. But like I've seen some civil rights violations in there for sure. I got a petition. I got to generate documents and whatnot. And then I'm gonna sue them too. And then the 2 courts, I'm also gonna sue them too. So all in all, like just the 10 lawsuits that I'm talking about right now, there's quite a bit of money there for sure. But there's a lot of work involved and a lot of fatigue, mental fatigue. And then on top of that too, these aren't even, Estancia Villas, like in UDR buying out Estancia Villas is like a $15 billion corporation. They were a wing on there, but it's a class action lawsuit that I'm really looking at developing here, because if you just take the alphabet, you can convey so many I'm trying to explain the double speak and how they are controlling people essentially. And when I say control, I actually mean like your control system, like your brain. They're all types of tactics they use to break you down, to get you to be something else or to get you to do whatever. Like I can mention those school shootings. I can mention the rates versus the generations now compared to prior. Like there's all kinds of stuff going on right now. But I'm just able to identify it, catalog it, segment it, and then present it in a way where like the standard person can understand it, especially in a document. So yeah, just hang tight. This video is really for my family, just so they can see what's going on. And just so I can have it, because it's a lot to explain. So this video in combination of all my documents, plus you got the case numbers, you could literally see all my documents real time. Like you should know what the hell I was on, seriously. But yeah, there's like 4 more lawsuits. These are actively going. I don't really have much to lose here other than losing an apartment. But at the same time, I'm trying to buy a house. So, especially right now. So right now, I've just really, really been going through it. But I'm not paying any rent. I haven't paid any rent in like the last 6 months. And I intend to not pay any rent for the next couple while I'm explaining this in court. So even at, like, having said all this stuff that I said, look at this contract that I just drew up here. They really wanted to pay me like 36 bucks. I got other ones, but this is what I'm asking for here. I'm asking for like a 1099, like $53 contract or a performance-based contract. And like basically what I'm trying to get at is like I'm gonna be able to get some money pretty soon, and then I can put that down payment and get a house. So I'm not worried about no eviction. They have way more to lose after I expose them in court is really what I'm trying to get at. Way more to lose. Not even just them now, it's the government that's involved too that's really about to be embarrassed for abetting this nonsense and aiding this nonsense and obstructing the legal proceeding with all kinds of stuff that they've been doing against the U.S. Constitution, the amendments, and civil rights, just in general. But that's really what I just wanted to explain that right quick, because it was really starting to piss me off, like not being able to even say anything inside court. And I'm really glad that we're able to show you like, hey. And by the way, these are the case numbers too. So if you want to get a discovery or you want to check the case out or anything like that, here goes the case numbers. This one is just like me, just like going in on, because now anybody that looked at me even like a fraction of the degree, like if you looked at me any less, bro, or you like messed with me, I now know how to like go about getting you. You know what I'm saying? In a legal way without doing anything extra. Anybody, any corporation, anything, like anybody. I smoke with any, like these guys, 15 billion. You know what I'm saying? This is literally the Travis County Civil Division, Travis County Sheriff's Office, the state of Texas, in fact. Like, I'm really out there. Like, I'm not intimidated by anybody because I'm equipped with the truth. That's really, if it makes any sense. Like, I'm not intimidated by anybody because I'm equipped with the truth. And I know it may seem like I'm by myself out here, but I'm really not. And not even in the context of like being with other bodies. I'm just saying like there's an entity out here outside the context of this, and you guys don't even comprehend that, or maybe you do, but like I'm not intimidated, just so you know.